Good morning, people. It's Jacob on the one up top. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. Always wish people the best. So, I'm enjoying my Saturday so far. About to go and get my son his haircut, but first and foremost, I thought I'd get my opinion out on the team, the myth, but far from a legend, Tottenham Hotspur. So, before I go into what my thoughts are, I want you to again like, share, and subscribe. My last video on my views on Sheffield United is doing quite well for itself. I'm not somebody that gets 1,000 likes, but I'm trying to get towards the thousands and be the best I can be on this podcast stuff. So if you can like, share, subscribe, comment as well. I'm getting a few comments every now and again. It's nice to see other people's opinions and get some positive comments. So that's great. But yeah, we got another important game today, and it's my local team, which is Wolves. So I was due to go and watch it with the kids today, but we couldn't get enough tickets. Plus, if we did get tickets, it would have been in the Wolves end. And the last time I was in the Wolves end, I got chucked out. If you Tottenham fans can remember correctly, it was the game where um, we were 1-0 up with Lucas Moore, I think it was. Um, and then we went 1-1 with Adama Traore, and it was a game where literally our whole team got booked because Adama Traore was causing a madness. And then we scored a last minute winner. Literally 94th minute. I forgot I was with the Wolves fans. I felt like I was in my living room. Got chucked out, but for me, even though it was round the corner, it was the greatest away day I've ever been on, and I was on my own, so it was brilliant. So again, we're back at Wolves. I'm not going to go into too much about what happened in the midweek because if you want to see that, my opinion on that, I find it quite laughable. So again, if you want to catch some joke, watch the previous video. It'll be attached to this at the end of this video as well. But I'm just going to talk about the game today. So the opposition Wolves. Before Lepetegi came in, I did worry about Wolves. I thought they were showing relegation form. They're not pulling up trees at the minute, but they've steadied the ship. They've got a couple of good victories. They held their own to an extent against Liverpool, but then Liverpool just a bit too much strong for them. But Wolves, traditionally in the Premier League, Wolves have been Spurs' bogey team when they've been in the Premier League. We haven't really got that many positive results. I think the only positive results I can remember off the top of my head was when we were under Nuno and we beat them 1-0 and we absolutely got peppered, but somehow come out of there 1-0. It was a terrible performance, but Wolves just couldn't score. I think Raul Jimenez was out as well, so I think they were just struggling to score at that period of time. But if anything, I can remember more losses against Wolves. I can remember a time where we were going for top four and we lost at home. Stephen Fletcher scored a winner. There was another time where we lost at home at White Hart Lane. Kevin Doyle scored a winner. I remember at Wembley, Harry Kane scored an absolute screamer with his left foot. We ended up losing that 3-1. We lost 2-0 at our stadium as well. So we haven't got a great record against Wolves. Wolves seem to turn up against us. So I'm not confident just based off history, but then it's Tottenham. I can never put my mortgage on this team. I could never. But Tottenham could be like, we played Morecambe a couple of seasons ago and we made that hard for us and we had Harry Kane playing. So never confident, right? Even though I might feel that we might get a result, my head will be telling me, yeah, we'll win 2-0, but my chest is telling me, come on, mate, 30 years of hurt, are you dumb? So, we look at Wolves again. They've got a couple of good players, that can hurt opposition. Raul Jimenez isn't scoring too many goals, but, he can always be a threat. Ruben Neves from set pieces on long range shots, very good player. But they've become a bit more of a unit now, and their coach is a seasoned coach. Seville, he put them on a title run a couple of seasons ago. So for Wolves to get him in, I think midway through the season, it's always difficult. It doesn't matter who you are as a coach. You bring in a manager at a certain period of time, it's going to be very difficult for you to just get the ground running because there's going to be players in the squad that you don't want. There's going to be players you don't need. You're going to try different systems. So I think next season will be the season where if he's backed properly, I think Wolves could be a team to watch out for. You know, they'll be very similar in position to what Brentford are doing right now. You know, seventh, sixth, and Wolves have been there before. You know, there was a point where they were looking like they were going to get top four a few seasons back. They were just felt short because the amount of goals that they were scoring, but defensively they were solid. And even right now they're not someone that gets battered all the time. They're a reasonably solid outfit, and they were pretty much a mainstay in the Premier League where they never used to be. They always just be Wolves and stay out for a year or two and go back down, where it doesn't feel like Wolves are going to do that anymore. They're pretty much like, Leicester obviously won the league, but Leicester were a team that would come up and go back down. But Leicester are a team that you kind of feel are an established Premiership side now, just like Wolves. So so I'm going to move on to my side, and like I always do, whenever I'm daydreaming and I think about Tottenham, things always come to my head, and I think I've got to get it out there to the people. So one thing I was thinking of, over the last couple of days is, us as Spurs fans, whether you're someone my age, whether you're someone younger than me, whether you're somebody that is 10 years older than me. If you're 10 years older than me and below, the question I want to ask Tottenham fans or neutrals that watch this video is, why do we get upset when we don't win stuff? Because the reason why I say that is because I've supported Spurs for the best part of 30 years. Now, whether we've had ENIC in or not, we've won 3 cups. Now, we won 1 cup when I first started supporting Tottenham when I was 6. So I don't remember that. I'm not going to sit there and say I remember the cup final. If anything, I just remember Gascoigne's goal, and that's the reason why I supported them. Because I remember watching that at my uncle's and think, I like Tottenham. And then as I got to 8, 9, 10, I realised that I supported them. So I don't remember that cup final against Nottingham Forest, but we won. So, in hindsight, in my year of being alive, we won an FA Cup. But then after that, we've won 2 League Cups. But the way that Tottenham fans are going mad, this is the way I feel if you support Arsenal, Chelsea of recent, Man United, Liverpool, Man City of recent. If you've gone sort of 10, 15 years without winning cups, or over 30 years you've won 3 cups, I understand the philosophy around an Arsenal or a Man United because they've been successful for years. Arsenal won 13 league titles, Man United 20 or 21 or whatever it is, Liverpool the same amount. Chelsea, they've won everything on the books. Tottenham haven't done that. And if you're my age, I don't see why you can get stressed. Because if we're getting stressed because we've won 2 League Cups and an FA Cup, Leicester fans, Leicester fans should be raging. Why? Because in that same period of time, they've won a League Cup, they've won an FA Cup. So realistically, Leicester fans should be in more uproar for the position they're in, considering what they've won over the last 30 years. So I'm 38 years old. If you're a Spurs, the question I want to ask you is, why are you getting so upset? Because it's not like you're used to success. I'm not used to it. And I've had to ask myself the question, why am I getting upset? Over the last few years, I've said, why am I getting upset? Because Tottenham don't win anything. But this comes down to the fact that Daniel Levy pulls the wool over your eyes. That's the reason why you're getting stressed, because subconsciously you see that we've got a big stadium. Subconsciously you see that we're getting top 4 football. We've played Champions League football. We've nearly won cups. Subconsciously, you know that in the 60s, the 70s, we were a cup-winning side. But in the 60s and 70s, you weren't alive. When you have been alive, we've always been the nearly team. So the question I want to ask you is, why are you stressed? We should have the same energy as Everton. Because I know quite a few Everton fans, and I think they just get annoyed when their team they haven't got a team built on effort. Because since David Moyes left, they had a workman, they had a team that suited the city, the area. It's a workman area. It's the working man's club. They were tough people. So the team fitted them when they had the Gravesons, the Tim Cahills, Arteta, all these guys, Duncan Ferguson, they all fitted the bill, and David Moyes recognised that. So it got to the point where they had a team they were proud of. And if they got Champions League football, which they did at one point, brilliant. But even if they finished 8th, they weren't like, oh, we want to finish 8th and win a cup. No, because they knew where they were. But again, Everton, when you look at what they've won historically, they're not far off the amount of stuff that Tottenham have won. But Everton fans right now, forget now, let's say a few years ago, when they were spending the money, They weren't crying out for Champions League football or FA Cups or Carling Cups. They just wanted a team to be proud of. But they've won as much as us historically. So what are we moaning about? I understand that if we've won a Champions League, if we've won an FA Cup in recent times, then cool. But our history is so diminished of success that, like I said to you guys on a previous post, the happiest moment I've had of recent times of Spurs is Lucas Moura's hat trick. That's facts. I went outside in the garden and slid on the grass like I scored, and I came in and I was so full up with happiness that I didn't go to bed till 3, 4 in the morning, and I must have drank about 8 beers and I still couldn't go to sleep. That's how ecstatic I was. But that was for getting to a final. We got to the final and got slapped by Liverpool. So it's like, I'm a realist. I'm not going to sit there and go on about, oh, we do this. I understand that you want to win. Every football club wants to win. Burnley want to win cups, But in recent history, Wigan, in the last 20 years, Wigan can easily say, all right, you've had your 2 Carling Cups, we've had an FA Cup. Would you swap them 2 Carling Cups for an FA Cup? Most Spurs fans probably would. That's Wigan. Wigan are there trying to stay up in the Championship right now. We've got to be realistic here. When Daniel Levy came in, were we successful? No. We weren't winning anything. Daniel Levy, we just won a League Cup. So Daniel Levy's come in and matched what we've been doing in recent times, and we're all going mad that he needs to invest more. And I understand that he does need to invest more. Don't get it twisted. I'm not going to sit there and back him up. But at the same time, when you look at it historically, Daniel Levy, when you look at transfers in and out, fair enough. But, he hasn't been backed like he could do. But he spent 2 billion over in the time that he's been here. Spent 2 billion. So I don't think it's about the money that's been put in. It's about the players, the personnel that we're actually buying. We're not buying top level players. We're buying players that we hope turn into top level players. And it's only been 1, maybe 2 periods of time where we've actually got players that we hoped would become top players and actually have. So, under Pochettino, we had your Harry Kane's, Eriksen's that all went from this level up there. Even Vertonghen and Alderweireld, this level to there. Still didn't win anything. We had Harry Redknapp that turned your Gareth Bales into world-class players. You had Van der Vaart, Ledley King when he could play. So, again, there were players that went from there to there, didn't win anything. So why do we now feel that we still got Harry Kane? Why do we still feel that we should be going winning anything? I think we need to take it down a notch. That's me being realistic. And if you don't like it, again, comment and feel free to comment on that, because we're giving off energy like we're an elite club. We're not. We're not an elite club, and as far as I'm concerned, we never will be under the stewardship and what we need to do to be established as an elite club. Like, to be an elite club like a Man United or a Liverpool, let's say, we ain't won a Champions League. FA Cups, okay, we've done well, but, in my lifetime, I've never seen one, and I've been a Spurs fan for 30 years, like I said. So if I've never seen one, or I don't remember one, that speaks volumes of why I shouldn't be getting disgruntled now. Arsenal haven't won a Champions League, but how many FA Cups do you want? You know what I mean? They've won it they're winning that by a country mile. Man City, they don't really take the Carling Cup seriously, but I think they won 3 or 4 in the bounce. Chelsea, they've won 2 Champions Leagues in the last 10 years. Why, and you look at Chelsea now, they're stressed. Now, I can understand why they're stressed, because they've won all these cups. So it's like when you're lingering in 10th in the league, you come to 3-point lane and lose. Of course you're going to be pissed off. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'll be livid. But if Tottenham are doing what Chelsea are doing, of course I'll be frustrated, but it ain't going to ruin my weekend, because I think, well, what are our parameters? What is it that we actually do? Tottenham Hotspur, you put them on a pedestal. What are we supposed to be achieving? So it's like, if you look at a company, a business that's been around for 30 years, I don't know, a Tesco's and Asda, and they've always been the 3rd best supermarket in the country, always, for the last 40 years. Why should they expect to be the top? So let's say it's Aldi. Aldi are the 3rd best and always been the 3rd best for the last 30 years, because you've got Sainsbury's and you've got Tesco's. What divine right have Aldi got to be the best supermarket in the country? What divine right? They ain't got a divine right. They can do things to become the best, but they can't just sit there and go, oh, hold up, we're Aldi. You ain't been putting in the work like Sainsbury's and Waitrose and Tesco's. Wait your turn. But if they do a bit of market research, a bit of investment, a bit of, start putting Aldis all over the place, then we can go, all right, then cool. Hold up a minute, you are better than Tesco's. 5 minutes later, you are better than Sainsbury's. And then the next thing you know, you're competing with Waitrose. So that's what I'm trying to get at. You've got to be able to establish the fact that just because we're Tottenham Hotspur and we've won things in the past, doesn't necessarily mean that we have a divine right to win trophies. That's all I'm going to say on it, because I looked at some of the comments on Sheffield United, the defeat there, and it was baffling, if I'm honest, because it's frustrating, but I find it funny because it's like, this is what Tottenham do. I don't understand how there's people at the same age as me or older and haven't figured out this is what we do. This is the club that we are. There's a reason why we're called the Banter Club, because it's not like we've been doing it for 10 minutes. We've been doing it for about 30 years, 40 years, always bottling it. It doesn't matter what money you put in, doesn't matter what players we've got, we always flop. We're cursed. But there's more than that. So if I go to what's happening today, if I wanted to talk about lineups, I'd rather have a lineup. I want the same lineup as Chelsea. Richarlison's proved that he can't really play up front in this side, especially we haven't got a number 10. I feel that, he's probably suited best out there. Son is becoming even more lightweight. I think, against Sheffield United, he was too worried about getting a tackle in. There was no urgency. There was no purpose from him. So again, I want to see him on the bench until he toughens up a bit. But yeah, I want to see the same lineup. But even if we do have the same lineup, am I confident that we're going to win? No, because it's Tottenham. Should we get the win? Possibly. Are we going to win? Don't know. You know what I mean? Can we win? Yes, of course we can. We've shown. We've beaten Man City. We've beaten West Ham. We're in and around Wolves at the minute. So we show that we can win. But there's a massive level of inconsistency with what we do. We could beat Man City one week and then the next week get pumped by Leicester, but then we come back and beat West Ham and then lose to Sheffield United. That's what Tottenham would do essentially. We beat Chelsea, who their personnel is 10 times better than Sheffield United, but we can't beat Sheffield United. That's the problem. So the likelihood is we'll go and beat Wolves today. We'll be comfortably in the top four. Tottenham fans will be like, oh, don't worry about it. So you hear Tottenham fans all of a sudden saying that top four is more important than the FA Cup anyway because of money. But then there'll be the same people that last week that were saying ENIC out, but all of a sudden you're starting to sound like ENIC. So it's one of those where we look to the game. As much as I do predictions, I don't even know if I want to do one because you're kind of setting yourself up for failure with Spurs. I could easily say that whenever I say we're going to lose, we go and win. And whenever I pick up a bit of confidence, we go and lose. That's the life of being a Spurs fan. So if I'm going to be completely honest, it's not me being negative. I think we're going to lose 2-1 because we don't do well against Wolves. This is a game, again, where we need to just go, right, don't worry about Sheffield United, let's win. But, all we're going to do is bring in Romero, Longley and Kane, who are all going to be demoralised because it's a squad game. And I just don't know. I don't know, but it's weird because I thought we'd lose to Chelsea and we won. So maybe I should just keep saying Tottenham are going to lose and then we'll just keep winning. Because, I said we were going to lose to Chelsea. We won. When I said we're going to beat Sheffield United, we lost. So we're going to lose to Wolverhampton. We're going to get spanked. Mate, I'm going to change it to 4-0. So hopefully that works in my favour. But like I said to you, Tottenham don't do things properly. I said it in a video before that if we were to beat Chelsea, get a positive result at Sheffield United, beat Wolves and then go into the AC Milan game, will be in good stead and it'll look rosy. But like I said to you guys before, Tottenham will not win all four. Man City will win all four. Liverpool will win all four. Arsenal of the past would win in all four. Man United right now are winning them four. Tottenham, it's kind of like you got to take the rough with the smooth. So I kind of had a feeling in my chest that if we beat Chelsea, we'll lose to Sheffield United, but then we'll somehow beat Wolves and lose to AC Milan. This is what we do. So then we'll get to the point where Daniel Levy will get his wish and we'll finish top four. But later on, I'm going to be doing a video like I did before. I'm going to be doing them regularly. So it's going to be before, a middle and after. So that's me previewing the lineup, speaking on the performance at half-time and then at full-time. So, it's been proven that when we win, I don't get too many views. But if we lose, I'll get loads. And it's probably because of my reactions to the fact that we lose. And I even find them funny and so do my kids. So Like I said in the beginning of the video, comment, like, share, subscribe, do all of that. My views are going up slowly but surely. And it's not just about it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, it's about the process. And I'm enjoying the process of doing this YouTube podcast stuff. I like to speak Tottenham and I like to speak football. I'll be doing a few more videos on Spurs, but I'm looking to angle it out and I'll start doing some previews on the week's football in the Premier League. So watch this space. Come Sunday evenings, Monday morning, I'll be doing sort of a half-hour skit on the Premier League as a whole. So watch out. Love you all. Have a good weekend. Hope you enjoy your Saturday. Hope you enjoy your weekend and the following week. Take care and speak to you guys later. Jacob on the one up top.